Hey guys.
Good morning.
Dude, I was driving. I was in the car for like 7 hours yesterday.
That's too many hours. It's way too many hours.
I know.
That's a long day.
I know. But we gotta do what we gotta do. No, it's
every important place you could go doesn't take more than an hour and a half, and you found a way to get in the car for 7 hours.
well, I gotta get there and come back.
That was just.
And I stopped a few times because the market was moving and there were things to do. So like I had to stop at gas stations. I'm on my laptop at gas stations and shit.
What city were you in? Baltimore or New York City?
I was like in northern Maryland.
Oh,
like just south of the Pennsylvania border.
Don't know it.
It's really nice. You know, every now and then you'll see like some guy with like a beard, kind of looks like Spencer but skinnier, and he's like in a horse and buggy. You know, like all these Amish folks are thin.
Oh, Amish people, sure.
Yeah. And
Spencer,
it must be like the cars going around them. You know what I mean?
Spencer,
so anyway, I'm listening to. You ready for this? I'm listening to a beginner's guide to constructing the universe: mathematical archetypes of nature, art, and science by Michael Schneider.
By Michael Saylor?
No, Schneider.
Oh,
it's aggressive. Like all the sacred geometry stuff. It's a lot.
You had to stop to trade from your mobile? Or no? The chat's making
twice yesterday.
What?
Yeah. Well, I was driving.
What did you do? Did you have to trade?
Biotech. I didn't get stopped out of anything. I was really just looking for entry points. I was thinking maybe, bottom fish some crypto. I didn't do it. I didn't put a trade every time I stopped.
This man gets stopped out of nothing ever.
Well, not yesterday.
Not even yesterday.
Nothing yesterday. That's
great.
Yeah. It wasn't the best day for me yesterday, but I actually didn't get stopped out of anything. Let's see what happens today. So Dow futures up 200. All right. They were looking pretty nasty. I was up early, dude. I was up like at 4:30 this morning. I'm a fucking animal these days. Dude.
Look, the action yesterday was really negative.
All right, let's get into it. Let's go.
On the heels of Nvidia.
Let's go.
Right. Oh no.
Going on.
All right. So Nvidia, how was the Nvidia earnings? What's the story there? What happened?
It was really, really awesome for like one overnight session.
Got it. And then they're not awesome anymore.
And then it was like, well, I mean, credit to us. I feel like we definitely said yesterday, let's see how this holds up, because that was
the day before. Kenny was like, best case scenario, it gaps up and fades.
Yeah, but Kenny actually wasn't the most enthusiastic shorter yesterday when we spoke to him. But then if you were watching his open house, he was getting down and dirty for sure. He had I think he had a great day yesterday because
he changed his tune when I was on there. He said we're not doing anything today. He was thinking
no, but that was early. That if you were there later, he was.
Well, once it broke down, we'll talk to him later today, see what happens. But so what are your thoughts on the whole thing? So you gapped up. I was with Perlman in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, did you see the market this morning?" And I was like joking around. I was like, "Oh, is it open today? I don't even know." Right? So I'm messing around with Perlman. Funny, Perlman is the one asking me if I saw the market, which is hilarious in and of itself. So anyway, so I see where I see markets ripping yesterday morning, and then as the day goes on, just fading. Went out near lows of the day, right?
Yeah, it wasn't fading. I mean, it just cratered lower. The fucking bottom came out of it.
What was the nastiest thing yesterday?
Look, I got the Palantir puts, Okilo puts. These stocks are down 5, 10, 15% yesterday. The speculative growth stuff. So that continues to kind of be center stage for this sell-off, right?
What about crypto? Crypto just getting the shit kicked out of it.
There's no floor in sight. We talked about that on our call yesterday. Look, and we said on the conference call this week, there's no reason to overcomplicate what's going on here. You look across the board and there's tops everywhere. These are very obvious, what we call topping patterns. They're reversal patterns, they're distribution patterns. So if you see a top, it's probably a top. Treat it like a top. You don't want to be holding something that's going to look like Bitcoin 2 weeks from now. That was a very
Bitcoin's a good leading indicator?
Everybody and their mother had 8 chances to short that top or sell to protect themselves before that top printed. Nobody wanted to. Then the top printed. Now we're down another whatever 15, 20%. So a lot of those.
Interesting. So very interesting here. Surprising even that home builders didn't make new lows yesterday.
They've been
and regional banks aren't making new lows. Regional banks haven't made a new low in over a month.
JC,
that's weird.
JC, come on.
Shouldn't they be making new lows?
JC, home builders are down 20%. They're in a bear market.
Aren't you surprised they didn't make any new lows yesterday?
Yeah.
That's not surprising to you?
No.
No, it's not surprising. I would have thought the home builders were leading everything down, but it was more of a tech thing yesterday, right?
They've been crushed already. I think they've already made a big move to the downside. It's probably more.
But I mean, leaders lead, laggards lag. I mean, I'm just really surprised. And regional banks were only down 1/3% yesterday. That's weird.
Maybe home builders will be a new leader when all this dust settles.
You think home builders are going to be a new leader?
No, not at all. But I don't think that yesterday's action's bullish.
I'm asking you if it's surprising, and you're telling me no.
No.
Chat, you guys want to weigh in? Is it surprising that homies that have been the worst didn't make new lows yesterday? Is it surprising that regional banks were down 1/3%? Like, I would not have guessed that at all. I would have said, regionals are down 4 or 5% easy.
Yeah, most things were lower, so I guess that is a spot of relative strength on the tape yesterday.
Dude, home construction was flat yesterday. How was that possible?
Wait, do we care? There was like a huge volume stick in was it Lennar at 4x its usual volume yesterday? Do we care about that? Yeah.
I
don't know why.
I mean, it was up a full stick yesterday. It's full percent.
Yeah, 4x its 10-day volume.
There had to be news there. So this is probably some like news specific.
Not a hobby says JC has been wrong so many times. Yeah, where have you been? Yeah, I've been wrong a lot, and I'm going to be wrong a lot more in the future.
We're going to keep being wrong. I know that.
Thanks, Master of the Obvious, not a hobby 9680. I appreciate you reiterating the obvious. JC has been wrong so many times. Yeah, no shit. To the contrary, I assume I'm wrong every time. Every time. I assume whatever I do is wrong. And so we establish what we're going to do when we're wrong beforehand, and sometimes we're not wrong and we get it right and we make a lot of money, right? But you want to hear
the chat wants to hear JC say
we're in a bull market.
The weak internals won out.
The weak internals? What weak internals?
You're seeing the broader market now catch lower, right?
The market's been in a correction for 10 weeks. Yeah, and it hasn't gotten better. If you can argue it's gotten worse.
What?
You can argue the correction's gotten worse.
What do you mean?
Wait, we've been in a correction for 10 weeks?
Yes, since September 11th. We've been talking about this. How long have we been talking about September 11th? The New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line peaked. The percentage of stocks above their 200-day peaked. How long have we been talking about this? Yeah. And it's gotten worse, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Why is that? Yeah. It hasn't gotten better.
I thought breath was okay.
Yeah, of course breath is okay. Most countries around the world are making new all-time highs, but we're talking about two different time horizons. Are you talking about this week, or are you talking about a secular uptrend of all the countries around the world are making new all-time highs? These are two different conversations. Yeah, we've been in a correction for 10 weeks. Yeah, we know. What does that have to do with strong internals in sectors all over the world, all over the United States making all-time highs, and countries around the world making all-time highs? Yeah. What does one have anything to do with the other? Come on, guys.
No, we're talking about U.S. stock market breath, right?
Yeah, U.S. stock market breath. Yeah, it's been getting worse for 10 weeks.
Been bad for a long, long time. I'm saying
short term. Yeah, of course.
One out. You're seeing the broader market catch down to them.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, guys.
You want to throw up You want to throw up the chart? Do you have the divergence chart? There's a few of them. Like the AD.
We have so many charts. Now, do those charts make it onto the morning show each day? But there are two charts that are in my mind right now. I can close my eyes and see them.
You also can find them.
I'm talking about. I don't know when a chart is going to dawn on me and I'm going to need it. I just don't know when and where I'm going to need these different charts. We can't have a deck full of 1,000 charts. That doesn't help us. Right?
Hold on. Last week we were pumping Farcoin. Are we buying Farcoin? Who's buying Farcoin?
No, nobody. That was a joke.
Coin, probably like 5 weeks ago now.
That was a joke.
I bought a crypto not too long ago.
Dude, Farcoin hanging in there okay. Hanging in there right near those March lows.
Are the NFTs digging in or getting
if the Farcoin was ever gonna, get some gas, now would be the right opportunity, right? It's been a real stinker for a while. But I think that I don't know. What do you guys think?
Can't touch them.
You can't touch the Farcoin down here. Why not? Tight stops.
Can't touch crypto.
All right.
There will come a time, and you guys know this, where I'll be on here like we're buying the hell out of crypto again. It's just not today.
You know that there's a Fartcoin market cap chart? Have you ever seen a Fartcoin market cap chart? They got those.
I don't think I've ever seen a Fartcoin chart.
That's not true. We've talked about it here. Can we do a little state of the markets, folks?
Started saying that in September.
Sure.
September. We did the big duck feeding event. Late September.
Feeding ducks. Ducks gotta eat too.
You gotta feed the ducks. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. All right, you're sounding more and more like the Donald. Let's go.
Steve is no longer the chief duck feeder. He's now. Yeah.
He hasn't been feeding ducks for 2 weeks now.
No more food to give the ducks.
That's right.
Ducks are so fat in my backyard.
Are they fat?
Yeah, big ducks.
Dude, ducks are delicious.
Big ducks.
Dude, what do you like better, chicken or ducks?
Turducken. Shout out Thanksgiving.
Dude, I love a good turducken with some cornbread stuffing.
But if I had to choose any 3 of those meat, I'm probably going with duck every time. The crispy duck, I like the way that the Chinese do it.
The Chinese crush the duck, dude. They do it so well. Does anybody do the duck better than the Chinese? I'm thinking no.
It's really good.
I got to tell you, my homie, he goes duck hunting out in California, and he does like this blackberry, what's the thing? And he puts it on fire. What's that? He puts like alcohol in the blackberry, and he lights it on fire. Brandy. What's that called? Does anybody do that stuff? I don't know how to do that, but he lights it on fire in the kitchen. That's
a flambe,
a Molotov cocktail.
No, it's got a name. It is, and then he puts it on the duck. But the problem with the duck is that when he kills it, so sometimes you get the bullets in your mouth, like the pellets.
French duck? No, thank you.
All right, enough of duck for one day.
Let's stop hating on the front. You're so disingenuous when you hate on French cuisine. Like, you're just like, don't ever do that in my presence. You're better than that. Dow futures up 0.2%, 275 points for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Steve Strazza, I'm old enough to remember when that was a lot. 275 points. 20 years ago, you didn't see that very often. Kind of never really. I don't think I had ever, at this point in my career, 20 years ago, had ever seen a Dow up 275. So funny how life works. S&P 500 futures pushing 6,600, up over 0.5% on the day. NASDAQ 100 futures up 0.5% on the day. 24,260, up 126 points. 30-year bond futures up again today, up almost 0.5%, 117.5. Crude oil down 1%, 58.25. We got copper flat this morning, just under 5. Copper back under 5. That's a big one. Gold still above 4,000, 40.73 for gold, up 0.33%. Silver down again. Okay, so silver back under 50, 49.40. We've been talking about the relative strength in silver. That's kind of given up steam a little bit over the last couple of days. So all eyes on silver with the VIX, 25 down today. VIX at 25. So 25 divided by 16, you're looking at about, check my math, something like 1.6%, something along those lines. 1.5, 1.6% is what we should expect on a daily basis for the S&P 500. Today it's up 0.5%, so it's about a third of that. And then over in Funny Money, we got in some serious action in crypto. Bitcoin, 84,000 here. Crypto Fridays, new lows. Big reversal off the lows of the day. Lows of the day at 80. Here we are back at 84. Lowest level since April. And then Ethereum 2750 below 3,000, 2750. Lowest level since July. Down another 2.6% on the day. Low of the day was 26.30. Here we are at 27.50. So far, interesting reversal. We'll see what happens. See if it sticks. This thing was getting killed before. Solana down to 122 this morning, back up to 127. That is now a 6-month low for Solana. The Solana ETH ratio, interesting. Nice day yesterday. Not sure if you caught that. Solana ETH, ton of relative strength this whole week, actually. So that's really fascinating. Strazza nailed the bottom there, if you recall, on that Solana ETH ratio a few months ago. Then it gave it back, and now that's starting again. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel. You ready for this?
Hasn't been a great trade, though. Just hasn't. It hasn't. It's continued to be a dog, Solana, right? It dug in where we thought it would, but Solana has been unable to reclaim the prior cycle highs. This whole bull market. That we call that a laggard.
Spencer, 1.5 trillion to the downside off the highs for total crypto market cap. Now at 2.8, just an FYI. Okay, so what stood out for me yesterday? The Solana this week. Ton of relative strength in Solana. There were certain things that happened yesterday in the market. You know, I was keeping a close eye, but obviously I couldn't see everything. So I get back to my desk. I'm looking through things. I was looking through things in the gas station too, but I'm looking through things. The things that stood out to me: regional banks were barely down. Home builders were up or flat, and Solana ETH, the relative strength in Solana ETH, like that really stands out. And silver got hit some yesterday, so that was new also. Those are the things that stood out to me. What stood out to you? Your tech shorts are working, so that's for me.
I'm impressed about relative strength. I need that asset to be at least going up on an absolute basis. So Solana, I'm actually thinking of opposite way. Not excited at all. They just launched the Solana ETFs. We've seen throughout history cryptocurrencies get a huge bid on these kinds of headlines and events. Not Solana this week. It's like nobody even cares anymore that that's going on. I think it marks a big change in sentiment there. And nothing really stood out. I'm not fishing yet on the long side. So
I am
letting the market.
I definitely am.
I know you are.
People say, "Oh, JC says no bear market." No, I don't think it's a bear market. I think it's still a bull market. I don't really see any evidence suggesting this is a bear market. No. Maybe we go into a bear market one day. In fact, I guarantee you we go into a bear market one day. I don't think we're in one. So I think we're in a bull market based on the weight of the evidence, and I think we want to be looking for opportunities to buy. So I think weird areas of relative strength is what has my interest.
But there's something between a bull and a bear market. There's a corrective market, right, that we could like get ahead.
We're 10 weeks in
and react to.
And we're 10 weeks in.
Starting to see it at the index level since last week.
Fine. Right? Yeah.
There's a correction beneath the surface for a while.
Yeah, like all those junky, all those names that you made a lot more money on the way up than I did, to be fair, were the ones that came down. But I haven't been in those really. So like those don't affect me. But I get that a lot of people were bag holders in those, right?
It's bleeding over now. You're seeing similar action in all the biggest stocks. So it's hard to not be affected with the way the price action's going. Pretty much everything is getting hit besides biotech and
my long-term accounts, I think, hit all-time highs like maybe early last week, you know, and it's long only, long-term, and they probably hit all-time highs early last week. We're now Friday, so it's probably about 2 weeks of selling. I haven't looked. I mean, I could probably look, but
all good. So
how much do you think I'm down? How much do you think my equity curve is down in my long-term, long-only accounts since they hit all-time highs last Monday or Tuesday?
I've heard from some people who've had really durable accounts through the selling, people who've been heavy in healthcare. I know some guys like that, shout out. But also a lot of people down 25-30%, I'm hearing too. So
well, if you're down 25-30% with this tiny little correction, it's because you're a bag holder in those other stocks that got crushed.
That's why we were talking about it so loudly as this was going on 2 months ago, last month. Totally.
Oh, yeah. You nailed it. You were shorting these names. I did not. Good for you.
So I think for now, like chill, let the dust settle. I'm in dust settle mode, right? I want to see evidence of some sort of tradable low. I want to see risk appetite turn. Right now, if you look at some of the risk appetite indicators, they're completing fresh tops.
Oh, look, a lot
of this other stuff.
Here's a good metric. Here's a good metric. I started using my long-term accounts as like for information, right? Because I'm not active in them. And I think it's information because it's pretty diversified. It's probably more like the Dow than the S&P or the NASDAQ. And damn, I just had it. Here, I peaked on, Damn, sorry guys. I wanted to show you because I think this is actually really valuable. And I just okay, so it peaked on November the 13th. When was that? That was last Thursday, actually. That's when my long-term accounts peaked. Very diversified. So this is not tactical at all. November the 13th, and I am down basically like 4.5%, 5%. Does that sound about right for like the broader markets?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's right.
Even like a quality long-term account. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would equality is probably not the best way to think about it because it's not like it's not meant to have quality. It's meant to be very diversified, and it's like one of those tax loss harvesting.
Yeah.
So it like sells Chevron and buys Exxon. It's one of those strategies. You know what I mean?
I know about them for sure.
So anyway, so I have an account that does that, and I haven't ever really cared to look at it other than just how much money is in there. But recently I started looking at it as information. Do you like that or no?
I feel like I could run a tax account like that better than anybody in the world.
Bro, it's fucking complicated, man.
I feel
there's
I know
like 70 there's like 70 stocks in there, 80 stocks. It's not easy.
But if you understand both taxes and markets, I mean, we could.
Why don't you talk to Patrick? Why don't you talk to Patrick O'Shaughnessy? It's his strategy, isn't it, that I use?
Yeah, but a lot of guys do this, right? I don't know if he invented it. Shout out Greenwich.
I think he invented it. I'm ignorant to this stuff.
It's not a thing that like someone just invented, though. It's been going on.
Yes, it is. He invented the software to do it, to automate that.
Okay.
Why don't we get him on the show and have him explain it to us? How about that? Why don't we do that?
Yeah, that'd be a great conversation.
Yeah, Spencer, can you get Patrick O'Shaughnessy on the show and let's talk about this? Let's do that. Look, here's a good question. Legarci, JC, are you going to outperform in that same account when we resume the uptrend? Definitely not. No chance in hell. But it's not for that, right?
That's okay.
But I think there's some pretty decent information that I kind of just discovered, to be perfectly honest, over the last few months.
Yeah, some of the best information we really
look, Robert Pesci, I use those accounts for 75% of my clients. There you go. So am I doing good? For somebody who knows nothing about financial advising or that's a good thing to have. Dude, like a few years ago, I think that account was flat and like I wrote off hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses. And I was like, how is that possible? Like, is that legal? I remember asking.
Oh, yeah. Taxes matter. Taxes are, when you do well in life, it's your single biggest expense, right? So,
yeah, let's do, we're asking, getting questions about the Santa Claus rally. Santa Claus rally doesn't start until Christmas Eve. Noche Buena. Noche Buena. Yeah. Says Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Get him on for sure. You want to throw up the some of these breadth charts? You got percentage of stocks above their 200-day moving average, and you got the advanced decline line, both making new correction lows yesterday.
Yeah.
You want to throw those up?
It's bad and getting worse out there.
Yeah, half the stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are in uptrends, right? So, a great chart actually.
Historically, a very low reading for a bull market.
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, pretty low.
It's got to get above 60 pretty quickly, though. That I'll tell you. No, but 50 is not a low reading. But it tends to stay in the 60s and 70s in the healthiest markets.
I think like a lot of people are sharing these charts now, talking about these charts now. The signal occurred. It worked great, but it's happened now. Like we're there now. Breath was right. Markets caught down. Now what? Don't press shorts here. Still. I think that's crazy.
Throw up the new slide 2. Can you guys throw up the new slide 2?
This new slide 2.
This is great, guys. This comes from Jurrien Timmer at Fidelity.
Really good.
So good, dude. He's the man. Can we get him on the show? How come? Has he been on the show?
He's been on. No.
Dude, I don't know. He is the man.
I don't know, Jurrien.
I'll tell you. Spencer says he's trying to get Patrick. All right, I'll call Patrick. Patrick gave me good advice. Like when I first started doing like videos and
I used to listen to
podcasts and stuff like that. I reached out to him for advice. It was great. Slide 2. This was from Jurrien Timmer.
It was called Invest with the Best. It was a really good podcast. I don't know if he still does it.
Yeah, he does it.
Does he?
Yeah.
It's really good stuff. I'm talking like this. He's been doing this probably 10, 15 years, right? Been around.
Probably 10.
Bad too.
Throw up slide 2, guys. Come on. This is a good one.
We got to get faster.
I know. Who's on the charts? What happened to We used to have charts so fast. Now they take forever. What the hell's going on back there? So Jurian Timmer, he is what is his official title, Jurian? He is the Director of Global Macro at Fidelity. And so he's talking about kind of just a comparison from 1999 and the present. So what's really interesting is that you had a 20% rally into 2000 with only 20% of stocks on the New York Stock Exchange in uptrends. Like, you want to talk about weak breath. That is weak breath. So when we have 50% of companies in uptrends, it's a big difference. Now, to your point, 50 is getting to a low reading in healthy environments, right?
50 is historically low for a healthy environment. Yes.
Is historically on the low range. So it needs to recover, particularly above 60.
Yeah, look at these readings, right? Just typically much healthier market internal picture.
Yeah. So all eyes there. And again, on the relative strength, because I got to tell you, thinking back, and I've been having these conversations with Strazza for many, many years now, thinking back at like key bottoms, like summer 22, like COVID in March of 2000, I'm not comparing this to now, but I'm thinking like in those key bottoms, I remember seeing weird divergences, weird relative strength. I remember telling Strazza in June of 22, why aren't these stocks going down? Strazza, why aren't these stocks going down? Isn't it weird that these stocks aren't going down? And as it turns out, they started going up from there, and fewer stocks stopped going down. But there was weird things happening. And maybe yesterday was the bottom of this correction. Maybe not. I have no idea. I guess we'll see. Maybe regional banks roll over and make new lows today. Maybe home construction, the fact that they were up yesterday, they roll over and completely collapse. Maybe. But where we are today with the information we have, I gotta tell you, it's very weird that those things were happening yesterday, or I should say those things were not happening yesterday. And that stands out to me. I guess we'll see what happens. But I think it's worth pointing out. And the Solana ETH ratio.
Come on, dude.
It's weird. Solana should be underperforming ETH. Why is it outperforming ETH?
Dude, it's done nothing. It couldn't get up off the ground. It's making new lows day in and day out.
Up all week, pricing ETH. All week.
It can't find a floor.
Just saying, we'll ask Louis. It's just weird. That's it. It's just weird.
It's gone down less than some of the others, is what you're saying. But it's not going up.
Nobody's saying it's going up. You're not listening to me.
I need
Solana ETH ratio has been going up all week. That's weird. Basis.
I don't get paid on a ratio. I need them to go up.
I don't own
Solana.
That's not the point. Can we go to Kenny, get somebody normal on here? Kenny's the normal one.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come for my clock, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Charlie Tuna last night. I just rolled in.
Dude, I had a dream last night. That I was getting home at 6 a.m. and the sun was already coming up, and I was like, "Oh, can I take a quick nap?" Like, that was my dream, that I got home that late. It was weird.
I dreamt that the market was gapped up yesterday, and then it rolled over and went negative, and we all crushed it. And people started emailing me about what a sick call that was. Oh, that was reality. Hi, my name's Kenny Glick. I called that whole thing. Remember when I said we're going bearish in the most bullish time of the year?
So why don't you tell me about this NVIDIA trade? So 2 days ago, you were on the show, and you were like, listen, best case scenario, and I even pushed back on it. I'm like, well, what if it gaps down? Then what? And you're like, well, we'll see what happens. But you're like, best case scenario, it gaps up and then fades away. Now you're like, best case scenario. I'm like, all right, I guess we'll see what happens.
Right.
That's exactly what happened. So can you talk to me about, and then yesterday you weren't really sure how it was going to work out, and then live trading, you were like, oh, let's go. Can you show your screen and walk through exactly what happened there? Because you absolutely nailed it. I'm watching in real time. I'm like, this fucking guy nailed this.
Yeah, hold on a second. And again, taking profits was the bad part about the trade, I'll admit, but it turned out to be something psychotic, really. Here's the NVIDIA trade, but it was really the Qs first. NVIDIA was kind of delayed. It was a delayed reaction. It was more or less simultaneous. But again, the opposite of the faux show, bro, is the finger of God. And that's my favorite trade because I'm a shorter. So when the market rolls over and it breaks the VWAP.
But those fat-fingered Freddies?
Well, I'll explain what Fat Finger Freddy was. We got it on the cues. Let me show you the cues first. This is why it was so nuts. And when people start questioning whether or not this market's rigged or not, I'm like, I just showed you the rigging. So wait, let me go. I don't have my data. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm getting the wrong chart. This is today. Here it is. So yesterday, and again, the market did not want to give way. And we in Strazza were talking. We were like, all right, looks like it's going to be a chop fest. And, but I'm just going to sit here and wait for my trade to set up because that's how you trade. So here's the cues. We had this print. This is Fat Finger Freddy right at around 9:18. I was like, ooh, what's that? Did the market just tell us we're about to roll over? And then we tried to roll over. I got short and I got paid a little bit, quickly got out because shorting was still short-lived and you're going to die. And then I tried it again, quickly got out for a small loss. So I was like, all right, maybe we're not going to do anything today. And then we start chopping around. And then this one, you got a faux show, bro, VWAP break again. I'm like, wow, they are really terrorizing the shorts right now. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait. Right here, we finally got another moment where it went under VWAP, tested it, and then broke down. That's the finger of God right there. So the top of this knuckle, it's that kind of like the knuckle, and then it rolls over. So you didn't have to be first. So I like to say it's better to be late and right than early and wrong. And we were late and certainly right. And the only thing that was bad, quote unquote bad, was we started covering at the orange line because, we still were bewildered that this thing was actually going to go to this bad print. But we only covered some there. But, we're shorting here from 610 and we're covering 607, 603. Phenomenal trade. And then we had to entertain the thought we were going here. That's when all hell started breaking loose because UVXY, which just did a reverse split, this bad boy started to rip. And when UVXY is ripping, you better be shorting something. Gots to be shorting something. Yeah, so that was the tell. And UVXY wasn't just ripping. It was ripping like a tech stock. And that was frightening. And then
Can you explain to the new folks here who might not be familiar with the UVXY, why it's so important?
UVXY is like the fear gauge. It's bigger and better than the VIX. It's a product that's built to basically reflect intraday fear, mostly on the S&P, but really tied to the Qs as well. And when it goes up like this, that's alarming, okay? Because it doesn't do this too often. So when it does, you better heed its warning. And then you see how the market starts to cascade down. As this starts to accelerate to the upside, that tells you that you better stay short until this thing starts to come in. And again, when it started to crash, we started covering our shorts, which, again, anytime we took profit on a short yesterday, it turned out to be a bad trade. But listen, we bought options at 2, some of them, some of these trades were just, when you look back, it'll make you sick. Some of these options were a nickel. And we're in it like 20 cents, banging them out at 80 and $1.20. Some of these contracts went to $20 by the end of the day. So it's just nuts. When tripling your money is a bad trade, you're probably having a good day. But when you take a step back, you're like, oh my God. And some of the math, again, if you came in looking to gamble yesterday, you probably don't have to trade now for the rest of your year, or if not.
People in the chat talking about how it's the best trading day of the year. A lot of people made a lot of money. RB Freeman says he only left $500,000 on the table yesterday. LOL.
I was at around 375. Yeah. So you beat me. Yeah. I was doing some math and I was like,
you were doing some math. You left $375,000 on the table because you took two profits too soon on your triple.
Yeah.
Nice.
And again, I was like, you know what? Do I want to play the lotto? So we were goofing around. I'm like, so I was like, if we break down today, we're definitely going to the 582 area. So why don't we think even one more day ahead? We bought 555s as a goof. And I think some people got printed at 2 or 3 cents. They went to 78 cents. So, the money there is just insane. But the real money was, the real one was nice. It was, we bought the 600s for like $1.89s that got played on those. But it was just, at one point, it didn't matter what you did. If you just started slapping the keyboard and hit the sell button, you were going to make some money. That's how violent it was. But, again, for today, right back to the same program. You walk in, the market's gapped down already, so we're buying, and I still think there's going to be some residual selling. So these faux show bros that were good indications to buy so far, we break VWAP and we break down there. But really, again, if UVXY goes green and now it's down 2.5, it's about down 3 points. So if UVXY is green at any time today, we might have a continuation sell-off, and Thursday bad, Friday bad, usually Monday bad. So I'd be a little nervous, but right now
Thursday bad, Friday bad, usually Monday bad. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought of it quite like that.
And then we have turnaround Tuesday. That's usually the correlation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right.
So
I like that.
Right now, I'm a little, again, I'm not nervous, but if I was long, I would be very, very cautious. Keep those, those tight stops on. But listen, if we could just have another day like yesterday, we're going to be all right. And again, once we wash everybody out and everybody gets complacent, and Barron's writes the article about how was that the top? It'll definitely not be the top. We just got to wait for the Barron's article, wait for the CNBC market in turmoil special, and then we'll start buying, and I'm sure everything will be all right.
All right. This is my quant, ladies and gentlemen. This is my quant.
Look at my face. Glick. Look at my face. Yes.
Hit the bid. Hit the bid.com.
I'll see you guys in the room, and yeah.
Go get him, Kenny.
All right, brother.
Adios. Kenny Glick, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. Spencer Israel from New Jersey.
Kenny, one of the beautiful things, we were talking earlier about being wrong. Kenny changes his mind 4 or 5 times a day, and that is a feature. That's a feature, not a bug.
I love that about him.
Well, and if 6.5 hours, a long time.
And if and if that bothers you, then this is not for you, right? Because
he is so nimble. He doesn't give a shit. You have to, in this business, we're just talking about, you're going to be wrong every other fucking day. The smart ones are able to say, yeah, I was wrong. Flip it. When I was with Kenny yesterday morning, he's like, guys, we're sitting on our hands today. It's open.
Which blew my mind. That blew my mind. That he
had the levels. We were looking at the levels. We said there could be a big gap fill situation from this morning. Boom. He saw it and reacted. I just love it. Kenny is so good.
Yeah, Strazza's friends are like Kenny fanboys. Kenny fanboys all over Florida.
My friends don't open a single fucking email from me, but they'll call me, on a random Wednesday, tell me about what the joke Kenny made in his room or something. They love Kenny. Yeah, huge fans.
All right, wait, listen. We got Louie in the house, and then Riley's coming on after that. So let's go. We got to talk cryptos.
Hold on. Do you go to Edison, New Jersey ever, Spencer?
Edison, New Jersey.
It's been known to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you go get Indian food?
It's been known to happen. Yeah.
Do you know the good spots? I've never gone for Indian food in Edison, New Jersey. Can we do that?
Going to Indian in like Edison is like going for tacos in Sonoma, JC. You can't really go wrong anywhere. There is no good spot.
Yeah, but there's like better places.
Call some
of my Indian friends. I'm gonna call some of my Jersey Indian friends. I got those.
They're all good. All right.
I don't
believe very high floor, JC. Very high floor.
I'm gonna call my Indian friends. We're gonna go. You wanna come?
Yeah, that's 20 minutes for me.
Love some good Indian.
All right, nice.
I'm jealous.
Anybody in the chat knows the best Indian joint in Edison? Chime in. Then we'll go to Louie. All right, Louie. Let's go.
Nice.
Bring them on.
Oh no, Louie, I lost your bumper.
Come on, Louie.
I didn't lose it. It's just not where.
Louie.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
What's
Fantastic
going on,
to be
man?
joining you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up every single day and crypto just keeps going lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the people though, where did we come from? What were you doing? How were you positioning?
Louie having a great hair day.
Always.
Dude, better than usual. Louie, looking good, buddy.
But
Thank
Louie,
you. Appreciate it.
tell the people how you navigated, how you're kind of thinking about this, and where your head is at going forward. You've done a great job as always.
Bitcoin broke below 105. That was my signal. That was my risk level.
Yep.
Got out. There was, that was all she wrote. And it hasn't been a whole lot to do. And Same with Ethereum, same with Solana. You're talking about the Sol ETH ratio. I don't know what that's about. I mean, these things are just going down and down on a US dollar basis.
Well, I'll tell
Not
you what it's
today.
about. So when you see a day like yesterday, maybe not just a day like yesterday, just in general, I like to look at things that make little sense, things that I would not have expected. And if you would have told me that the market was doing what it was doing yesterday, big rollover, you would have told me regional banks and home builders were up, I wouldn't have believed you. You would have told me that Bitcoin is just getting the crap kicked out of it, Ethereum below 3,000, all these things are happening, and Solana ETH ratio is going straight up all week. I don't know that I would have believed you, you know? So anyway, the point, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen today, tomorrow. I have no idea. All I know is when I see something that I would not have expected, that stands out to me. Solana ETH going up all week is surprising to me. That's all.
Delhi Garden on Route 27. You see, there you go.
A number that is going up is the amount of treasury companies with their net asset value below 1. I've got that chart. It's the trading view one. It's the orange line. It's not my chart, admittedly. It is on the Twitter universe.
Chart on. Chart on.
What number is it? I'm looking for it.
I love how you're just stealing that from the Ritholtz crew.
Yeah.
You're just going to steal that? That's rude. Isn't that rude?
No, because they stole Chart Ninja from us. So it goes both ways.
Did they steal Chart Ninja from us?
We're just using each other's stuff.
Right, we'll get Josh in here and we'll hash it out.
I think they call him Chart Kid. But that, that's our thing. It's our thing. So
I think that's fair. I think we're the ones stealing from them.
Chart on. Rude. I'm gonna keep stealing. They're so good.
All right.
This is great.
Explain the amount of treasury companies with their net asset value below 1 starting to skyrocket, and this chart's just
explain what net asset value is.
I can't see anything.
So net asset value. So think about the amount of Bitcoin that they hold on their balance sheet, right? Because these companies, these stocks, they only serve one purpose, and they're just Bitcoin holding vehicles, right? And so, I mean, Jay said this isn't my chart, so that's why the labeling's a little bit off. But look, so if you think about
these two lines here.
So here we're looking at Bitcoin, and this orange line, we're looking at the percent of all Bitcoin treasury companies with their net asset value below 1. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but if this line is ticking higher like it is right now, that's the market essentially punishing these Bitcoin treasury companies.
So we're back to 2023 highs. How many existed in 2023? 1?
Not many.
Was it more than 1?
It was absolutely more than 1. I think it was close to. I mean, these things are really small. But I think there was a few dozen, even before 2023. But here we're looking at international as well. And so again, just these treasury companies just really just getting punished by the market. You see MicroStrategy just bleeding lower every single day. A lot of people are starting to talk about their liquidation price. I think it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, because their cost basis is around 75,000, but with most things when it comes to markets, it's not as simple as the fact where if they get below their cost basis, they're going to start massively liquidating, and it's going to be this major purge. It's really complicated. I don't know how these debt things are structured. It's way beyond my pay grade. But what I can say is that this whole liquidation thing is still a bit premature.
Securities lawyers will be involved. The way that these debt instruments were written is a bit strange. How are they called is a big question right now. Those are the kinds of things I'm hearing. What I don't believe is that there's no level where this gets ugly, right? There is a level where something happens. Trust me, they're not going to be able to ride Bitcoin to zero. They do have investors. They do want their money back. And at this point, I mean, they probably want it back right now. So it's interesting that this has happened so fast. But if you flip it back to the last chart, it's been going on. Like, this is basically a chart showing the last one. Bear market valuations, the last one. So that last chart, this last chart is the last one that we showed. Bear market valuations, right? I mean, we've seen these things, their valuations balloon to super premiums. I don't know what MicroStrategy personally is at. Do you? Are they around 1? Because we haven't seen that in how long? Like, how would this look for just MicroStrategy?
Yeah, MicroStrategy is back to net asset value. And so back in the 2022 bear market, when things were at their worst, they were trading at about 0.75% of their net asset value.
That's as low as it ever went, really. That's like during the FTX days. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. And then we spoke, I know we talked yesterday on the client call, but another thing that I don't hear being reported enough, and I know it started weeks ago now, but other, not MicroStrategy, but other Bitcoin treasury plays have already been liquidating and putting Bitcoin on the market. How much selling pressure has that contributed to the current corrective wave? I wonder how much worse can it get, right? But that's just all new supply on the market. We need more buyers than sellers on a daily basis, right? For a steady uptrend. We need consistently more buyers and sellers. If you have some of these companies who bought a shit ton of Bitcoin irresponsibly because interest rates were so damn low, and now they have to dump it all back on the market, that's a lot of new supply coming on that demand's going to have to absorb in order to keep prices from falling further.
Yeah, and then as well, there was a major buyer back from the 2012, 2013 era that had held Bitcoin for more than 10 years. And yesterday he completed his liquidation where he just sold $1.3 billion of Bitcoin. So talk about a trade right there.
I really think if I was a tax person in the United States of America, I think people should be rewarded for ultra long-term capital gains. Like if you hold for a certain period of time, I think you should literally pay zero taxes. We should reward that sort of behavior.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
And this is why I moved to New Zealand, my friend, where there is no capital gains tax.
I fucking love that about.
Does anybody actually have any capital gains there, though? Sorry, too soon?
No, that's great. I mean, what a place to live. What a time to be alive.
Do the sheep play capital gains?
A sheep gets slaughtered.
They got a lot of sheep.
A lot of sheep. One thing as well, you see all the scribbles behind my whiteboard every single week. And so just still continuing to map out the crypto ecosystem. And I want you guys to pull that up. It's those boxes there with all those random titles. And so I'm halfway through the crypto universe. I'm literally going through these one by one and reading the developer notes and trying to categorize them. And a lot of the taxonomy. So if you go on CoinMarketCap or any of these other websites, the descriptions are wildly inaccurate. So you actually need to do the work and read the stuff that nobody wants to read. And it's taking a long time. But what we're doing here is we're trying to create a really simple taxonomy where a lot of these cryptocurrencies can be organized. So I'm getting close to that. And, you're going through these one by one. It's a really good exercise because let me tell you, I mean, half of this stuff is just absolute junk. And I want you to pull up that Decentraland screenshot because I came across Decentraland. And it's a name that I haven't thought about in probably 4 or 5 years.
I own real estate inside of Decentraland.
You still own real estate? I mean, I went
have real estate by Snoop Dogg in Decentraland. True story. Still have it. Not worth money.
Wow. I
still own that property, right?
Screenshot of the game because I went onto the actual game itself. Who's behind these slides? I want to see the screenshot of the game.
Show them the game. Wow. I remember
I went on to this, and let me tell you. So the previous chart.
This is
we would jump around.
Last time I was in here, I was actually buying real estate. I don't think I visited my property. You should.
I used to walk around and like visit JC's house
in the corner.
Yeah, I would like creep around JC's house, like just hang out in the neighborhood, just kind of like a peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Even Deutsche Bank. What I'm looking at here, I was walking around. I saw Deutsche Bank actually bought a property in the metaverse back in 2022, and I'm like, man, it was so obvious back then.
I think that's when I bought my property.
Dawson says JC's gonna get foreclosed on.
No, I don't have a mortgage. I paid all cash, baby. All cash deal.
Foreclosures. No foreclosures.
Well, actually, it wasn't cash. It was actually Mana Coin, if you recall.
Yes.
The reason that I own real estate in the Decentraland is because we made money trading mana, and then I took some of those profits and I bought a property. That's what happened there.
I made the mistake of almost never selling my cryptos in past cycles, and I'm still holding a 95% drawdown leftover mana position.
Let me tell you, I was walking around this server.
Record, I still have I'm doing the thing where you get the income.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Are you staking?
staking?
You're
I'm staking. I'm
Big stake
staking.
guy.
I got the Axie. I've been staking Axie for freaking half a decade.
You
Are
may not
still
know
doing
this,
that?
I'm still
but-
doing that.
JC and I, big stake guys, big stake people.
Not true.
So, big stakers.
Eating
Love
steaks, not
steak.
so much staking crypto. I don't have a lot of staking. The only thing I'm staking is Axie. What are you talking about?
It's similar. It's similar. You could stake the Solana, Mister. I love the Sol
I
relatives.
don't own any Solana. I have 0 Solana in my portfolio. I sold it off a few months ago. We talked about this. It wasn't a tactical call. I just needed some cash.
The price action in Solana, I'll be completely honest with you guys, it makes me sad. It brings me down a little bit emotionally. It does. It's affected me. It's a bummer. It's a real bummer there in the Solana. Louis, the chat wants to know your thoughts on the DAO. The Tau? The Tau is the way. Tau is the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these AI coins, and again, you really need to do the work, because I go on Decentraland and literally the server is empty. Not a single person was actually on the server, and it's got a $300 million market cap. So I don't know what crack the market is smoking to value it at
No.
$300 million.
No one's hung out in Decentraland since literally 2020.
Yeah.
Remember, we were going to
so
host an event. We were going to host an event.
Yeah. Conferences.
We were going to host a financial conference in the metaverse
near Snoop Dogg's house.
Oh, I don't know that I wanted people to be that close to my property. I don't know about that.
Oh, good.
I wasn't trying to dox my property, bro.
I mean, Bill,
can
Bill's
we talk
like
about something
full-
important?
What?
I want to talk about slides 2 and 3. Throw that up. So this is 18 months lows yesterday.
So this is
for
still down.
MicroStrategy BTC ratio.
Louis,
And
yeah.
the IBIT option started trading on November the 19th of 2024. And the peak in MSTR IBIT, what did I say, November 19th of 2024 was the day the option started trading. What else happened on November the 20th of 2024? The very next day, the ratio between MicroStrategy and Bitcoin peaked. The day that options trading started for IBIT. And if you remember the Forbes cover, the Bitcoin Alchemist, that's when this was published, right there at the top there, and now making new 52-week lows. So,
what is an alchemist?
I'm not sure that you and I are smart enough to understand what those things are. Very fancy name.
It's someone named Al, who's also a chemist.
Oh, maybe.
Right?
I don't think I'll take the
Probably.
under. Alchemist is a really fancy name, and
Big
we
words.
are not sophisticated enough to know any alchemists.
Only people at Forbes know this word.
Do you know what this word is, Louis? Alchemist.
It's been like pioneer, right?
It's back in the day when people were trying to create gold. They were trying to convert base metals, worthless metals, into gold. So it's basically someone who can convert something that's worthless into something that's incredibly valuable.
You know, that's really interesting. I think Louis is absolutely right. An alchemist, apparently, according to AI, is a practitioner of alchemy. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It's an ancient and now discredited practice that sought to transmute base metals into gold. Oh, so it's a scam artist.
It's like a mixologist.
No,
I mean, Isaac Newton, in his final days, our greatest scientific mind, even he went down the rabbit hole of alchemy. So back in the day, it was all the rage.
That they were just going to convert random rocks into gold.
Yeah, I mean, it was the generation snake oil.
So then Forbes got it right, and they're calling him a scam artist.
Yeah.
Or no?
That's a great point.
Did Forbes get it right?
Hey guys,
everybody want to weigh in?
Hey, you guys.
I hadn't really thought of it like this. I didn't know what an alchemist was. I thought it was a compliment.
Hey, if you fib out the entire advance in Bitcoin, do I have this right? We're at 38% right now. Whole bull market.
That's interesting. I mean, we're back to the 75 level. That's a big one.
At the lows, FTX.
The FTX lows 22.
Fib out the whole thing. Look at this, right? That's a big level, right? Right around 84.7.
Yeah, 84 even is that level. Yeah. That's
Look,
also where we got all those weekly closes. If you look at where like the real bodies were, the real bodies in March of 25, April, all the weekly real bodies from March and April of this year, all the real bodies were right ping to 84. You see that?
Dude, I mean, if
Look,
this
are you looking at weekly real bodies?
ping to 84 when?
All throughout March and April.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, I wonder too, because Bitcoin was a great leading signal for now the corrective wave, the sell-off in equity markets. Is this now a roadmap for where we could go? Because Bitcoin has shattered its VWAP from the April lows. Right now, it's 38% retracement level of the entire bull market advance. When I look at something like the NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, you drop VWAPs there, there's a lot of empty space between here and I think the first line of support. And then if that goes, are we talking about the April lows? Like, is that really the next? I mean, I don't want to scare anybody.
Throw up the chart here.
But that would be the end of the bull market.
I think it's really difficult to know because there's a lot of unique variables that's driving a lot of the selling pressure in crypto right now, where we had that October 10th where that whole Binance situation was just incredibly messed up and it never should have happened.
Yeah.
And what we could be seeing is seeing some players.
What was messed up?
The whole Binance situation. So there was a big error with how Binance calculated liquidations, and that basically caused the entire October 10th crash. Was how they calculated prices.
Right.
And so if they didn't have that software mess up, then we wouldn't have had the October 10th crash. And so chances are there's a few large players that really got taken out and they're probably exiting the market at size right now. And so, we don't really know what's actually happening underneath the surface. So whether it's going to be a read to what happens in the NASDAQ or the broader market, I'm not sure, because there could be a lot of unique drivers here that we don't really know. And we're not going to know until after this entire selling is done. But I think getting back to these former lows, I think if you're a longer term investor, I think you want to start looking at this and start thinking, hey, is this a good level to define some risk and adding some exposure?
There you go. All right. Bullish comment.
I mean, everybody's been so pessimistic. You got to add some happiness to this.
Austin Power says you guys are so rude about showing the charts. Look, we're feeling hot today. It's a Friday. Market's under pressure.
We got to have thick skin around here. You know what I'm saying? There's too many sissies out there. What I would encourage you to do is to spend some time in trading floors, spend some time in locker rooms, maybe some dugouts, and maybe you wouldn't be such a little bitch.
When somebody sucks around here, we tell them, and then they do better.
Yeah,
that's really our culture.
That's right. And you can go home and you can take your ball and go home and go cry about it to mommy if you'd like, or you could just do better the next day like a normal person.
That's it. That's what we do here. Louis knows.
Tell him, Louis. Tell him. We give him shit, but we love him. Look at that fucking hair. Look at the hair.
He's like, I want to kill Strazza all the time.
I've experienced it.
Oh yeah, I've never wanted to kill Strazza ever.
I love both of you guys.
Never. But I love you today, brother. Both Strazza and Louis. Louis, keep up the good work, my man. Shoot me some notes with what we're buying today, please.
Good stuff, Louis. Thanks, man.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers, guys.
They say he looks,
and they're off. We got the Dow futures up 200 here at the open.
They say he looks like Zach Braff. I would argue Louis is far more handsome than Zach Braff.
Yeah, we talked about this like a month ago. Yeah, there was a picture of Zach Braff and Louis, and it was alarming.
I'd say I'll take Louis every time.
Yeah.
Is that a country singer?
No. He was in that sitcom that played all day long when we were in college. Scrubs.
Hey, we got Riley in the house, and
we were in college.
Riley probably has thoughts on that whole crypto conversation.
Yeah, I want to hear from Riley.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Nice.
What's up, boys?
Oh, Dow futures.
Are they? We gotta wait till the close. Pros on the close. You know that, JC.
The closing price is the most important price, but I'm not going to ignore what happens during the day. You know what I mean?
I'll circle back at the close. I hear you.
Well, listen, no one's. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that closing prices are the most important. So nobody's gonna argue there.
Look, we're already.
But I mean, we're not gonna pretend that the market's not open.
No, it is open. It's up 20 bips. We're already starting to kind of fall a little bit. I don't know. It's a Friday. You guys are talking about.
When you wake up in Asia. I remember I used to go to Guam all the time with my wife because she had business there, and we would wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and markets would be closed, and I'd be like all closing prices. It was kind of awesome.
Dude, that sounds pretty legit.
One time in Tokyo, I woke up in the middle of the night to watch a Dolphins-Jets Monday night game, and no, it wasn't a Monday night game. It may have been just a 1 o'clock game, and the Dolphins got smoked, and my wife is like, "You got up in the middle of the night in Tokyo to watch your stupid Dolphins game?" I'm like, "Yes." I felt like an idiot.
It's kind of like a time arbitrage, though, right? If you're jumping on the other side of the hemisphere and you're trading U.S. markets, you're getting this little time arbitrage going on.
This one time I woke up in Tokyo, I had no idea where I was, and then I saw, oh, Riley's here. Safe.
Riley's here. Oh, good time.
That's hilarious, Steve.
Riley. No, when I found out Riley took his golf clubs to fucking Vietnam, I'm like, you took your golf clubs to the other side of the world, you maniac. You could have just rented them.
I totally screwed him on that because
those golf clubs are
from. The problem was that we didn't have enough people to carry shit. Motherfuckers bringing his golf clubs.
I'm a caddy. Number one, I'm a caddy. Number two, the golf clubs are from Japan. They're handmade in Japan. They're
wanted to go back.
They needed to go home, man. They needed to go home. I had to give them that.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I told Riley, I said, you better bring your golf clubs. And then he showed up with golf clubs, and everybody's like, how ridiculous. I'm like, what is his problem? Unbelievable.
Okay.
Full disclosure, I didn't bring the full 14 set.
So I'm on the phone with Max last night at Joby. And this was really interesting. So he's telling me these things. He's like, and I'm like, what's up with Archer? Right? Because I'm just a dummy trader and I don't know anything. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up with Archer? He's like, I'll tell you what's up with Archer. Archer got ahead of the IR game, getting in front of traders, getting in front of investors, and they got the lead on that, and they're doing much better on that. But he's telling me Joby's way better. Like Joby's on another stratosphere in terms of the company itself. And he's like, and people just group them together like they're the same thing. I'm like, guilty. That's me who you're talking about. I just group them the same way. And then he was telling me Josh Brown groups them the same way too. And we're just a bunch of dummies that don't know nothing.
But JC, is this not like one of your friends works at JP Morgan and is telling you how much better JP Morgan is than Bank of America? Because
I don't think that's the case because we know what JP Morgan and Bank of America is. We don't know anything about flying cars.
The man who's giving you this information may be biased. Fair.
Can I step in here?
There's no reason to lie to me. I like Max.
I love Max. Can I step in here though? Okay, so Joby's actually flying aircraft over in Dubai for these demonstration flights for the air show. Archer isn't. They did do a test flight with the UAE, but to your point, JC, they are very, very, very savvy as far as the marketing Wall Street game goes, right? They know how to get the sexy headlines, announce the hot partnerships. They announced a partnership with Anduril, Palantir. Like they know how to play the game. They're very good at playing the game. I'm going to give Adam that. Adam Goldstein got on the late night show with Jimmy Fallon or whatever. Like they're pretty wicked at that. They can sneak themselves into rooms that they probably don't have business in being.
You're saying Archer.
Archer, correct. Joby is a little bit different, but again,
you gotta look out. Yeah,
you gotta wait for the FAA here in the United States, unless you want to go over to Asia, go to Dubai, and step in one of these things without the FAA stepping in. But it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen tonight. In fact, I'm actually going to a celebration of technology down at the cul-de-sac neighborhood in Tempe.
Hold on, a celebration of technology.
Did I hear that right? Go ahead and throw up slide 20. Please.
Sounds frothy.
Celebration of
technology sounds frothy.
Here's the thing. It could be, right? I went to the NFT NYC thing in 21 and that was the top. So yeah, we'll take a look and see if this thing is frothy, but they're going to be talking about drones, robots, software. But this cul-de-sac neighborhood, JC, are you familiar with this project?
I am not.
So it's a carless community.
carless community. Okay.
And it's
Tell me more.
getting venture dollars. They're all about foot traffic mobility. So they're right on the metro line in Phoenix. So people can jump on the metro line, get around, but they don't let cars into the community. I'm sure they have parking on the outskirts to obviously.
And this is a community of humans, not like a digital like.
No,
metaverse.
this is not Decentraland. This is not the metaverse. This is a real place. So I'm sure. I mean, it's close to ASU. Tons of students probably live here.
Oh, it's close to ASU.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, dude, they're ahead of the game, right? They were early with autonomous driving. They're early with this carless communities. They're going to be early
there at ASU.
They do, but they're going to be early on EV tools. Dude,
God.
I'm not even going there. I'm not even going there.
Are you too old? Are you too? It would be creepy if you were hanging out there.
No, I could still go have as much fun as I would like to there, but like that's not. I'm not about that. I'm actually going the other way, right? I want a horse and I want a flying vessel.
You want a horse, or you said horse?
A horse, and something that flies,
Could have been
right?
considered differently. You've been hanging out Perlman too long, you know.
Maybe yeah, a little bit. He rubs off on me well.
Yeah, I was hanging with Perlman yesterday.
But I see Josh in the chat. ASU #1 in innovation. They absolutely are.
Is that true?
Okay, but again, it's one of those sexy metrics that who really knows what innovation means, right? It's a bunch of journalists or people who come in and vote. Like, they're not real. But I do want to talk about this Ondas. Have you heard about Ondas? Have you heard about these guys?
I have not.
Dude, so they're building private wireless connectivity solutions, primarily in the infrastructure space, using drones and robots. So I mean, talk about a company that's right up my alley. They reported earnings last week. 500
ticker symbol?
ONDS. 582% revenue growth. That's a pretty wild number, right? We learn in how to make money in stocks from William O'Neill that you want like 30 to 50% revenue growth, and they almost had a 6-fold increase. The backlog doubled from last year, and it's a really compelling story. It's a really, really compelling story. In the crypto space, we're seeing a lot of relative strength in these private networks. And now here we're seeing a private network on the communication side of things. So I don't know if we're going to see a trend in this private network privatization of communication and information, but it's certainly something to watch. And then if you want to pull up that chart, which I think is the next slide, ever since that earnings gap, the stock has been just whipsawing around. It's going between $8 and $6. $2 spread on a sub $10 stock is pretty wild. So you got to kind of let this one develop. But it kind of, I don't want to get ahead of myself, JC. It
$2 billion market cap.
$2 billion market cap, but I'm not going to lie, it kind of reminds me of Palantir in 2022. Like it's a very similar story. You're talking about defense tech, very niche applications, right? They're going to be working with rail infrastructure. They're going to be working with.
What did I just hear?
You heard yourself right, Steve.
Don't do that.
I said I don't want to get ahead of myself. I got to make the comparison if I feel it, though.
Don't be that guy.
There's one Palantir. Let me tell you something. What I've learned from talking to
Palantir.
I've been talking to a lot of behavioral finance folks, and one common denominator is that you don't want to suppress your feelings and your emotions. You don't want to suppress them. You want to recognize them and be aware. Don't suppress your emotions. Don't let them talk to you like that, Riley. I'm telling you. I've thought about this a lot.
I won't. This is a great chart, but there is a Palantir chart if you want to. I think it's the next one, maybe. If you want to throw that one up. Like coming out of an IPO base, very similar stories, very similar narrative. I think it all falls under this same theme, though, of like innovation in this defense tech, right? We're already starting to see it.
Give me what else is on your mind from a small cap standpoint? $1 billion, $500 million, $1.5 billion. What's down there? That's going unnoticed.
This EOS, the relative strength from this EOS.
Yep.
Dude, you can't ignore it. You can't
ignore it.
So
this is batteries, right? This is some lithium shit.
Lithium batteries.
American, right? Not the Chinese.
No. This is American. Based in New Jersey. Edison, New Jersey.
Stop. Is Edison, New Jersey, America?
You would know better than I. I'm not an East Coaster.
It's where you get Indian food. So I was asking for recommendations before, and I got them.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got to see it stick this $12 mark, but so far so good. So far so good. The market's tough though right now, right? Like for me,
as opposed to when? Is it?
It has its moments where it's kind of easy, right? Where the trend is very clean. You can get in with some really tight stops, and you just kind of let positions do the thing. Like you sit on your hands, you do nothing, and just let the market work for you. Right now, like you got to go do a lot of work. So I don't want to be putting in a ton of capital into the market when I got to be working too hard to go make some money. Like
I'm trying to put money to work today.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe nibble on this, right? Get a couple shares, a little feeler.
I might buy some.
If it goes up 20%, keep adding to it.
I might buy some banks.
Some banks. That's some old school stuff right there. We still have.
I'm old school. I'm old school. You know, like we used to trade banks when you were just in diapers, Riley. You know, we were having great financial crisis because of them and everything. It was wild times, man.
Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was some shit. But you know, the financials are the most important companies. You know, you don't have bull markets without financials. That's how I learned it. So
well, you need the money makers to have money in the market, right? Like we trade money. JC, I got a question for you though. Did you see Waymo expanded to Miami?
No.
Okay, so I heard we're going to Miami in January.
Yep.
Are you gonna jump in one?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll go to Little Havana from the Grove. We'll go to Little Havana, go get some pastelitos, a little croqueta, a little cafecito action.
I can't pronounce any of those words.
No, don't worry about it. Gringos like you show up, and the Cubans. If you walk in, you'll see a bunch of old Cuban men yelling at each other. They're like yelling, like it's almost like they're about to throw down, but they're actually just having a lovely conversation and all agreeing. It just seems like they're arguing and about to fight, but that's just how they are.
All right.
They're actually agreeing many of those times. Domino's is across the street. Not so much at the but yes, we'll go play Domino's. Yeah? Domino Park across the street. Yeah, I like it. All right, guys. Spencer Israel, you want to sign us off here? We got stocks to trade. Things are moving.
Yeah, a lot going on today for a Friday, honestly. So Steve is going live. Steve went live yesterday with Alfonso, by the way. If you missed it, it's on the channel. But also, Steve's going live today at 4:15 with Jason Purse, and they're talking gold and commodities and whatever else Jason wants to talk about. So
gold up today, silver down.
Okay. I
make it make sense, right?
Last thing I want to say is there is a link in the chat. It was on the screen. Kenny Glick's open house is over. If you missed it, too bad. But he's running a Black Friday sale. Get into the room. That sale will end next week. Also in honor of Fibonacci Day, which is, I believe, Sunday, JC, right? 11/23.
Fibonacci Day is officially on Sunday.
Right. So All-Star Charts is running an offer for that. I did throw the QR code up on the screen earlier. I'll drop the link in the chat. And we will see you guys on Monday. So, what I should have mentioned with Kenny, in addition to the open house and the offer, is he does these Saturday classes once a quarter. His next class is tomorrow. So if you join Hit the Bid today, you can get the class for tomorrow. All right. That's what I got.
It's a great tool, Anchor VWAP. Great tool.
It's the best.
All right. Go make some money. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Monday.
Adios.
Same time, same place.
Thanks, Spencer.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.